Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, mapping out the week ahead. And a special welcoming to new people. And in few words, what we do here is actually, in a simple way, we are creating a plan for the week. And as traders like to say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. And of course, it doesn't guarantee success, but definitely removes unnecessary chaos and impulsivity from your trading and creates more order. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. And my overall experience is over 24 years now. I started as a prop trader back in New York City in the year 2000. And after doing the prop trading for about 11 years, I left and continued trading in a different way and also started to mentor and educate others. And currently, I'm very happy to have this great opportunity to assist our traders at AvaTrade. Agenda of the webinar, the same thing we do every week. We talk about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We discuss some fundamentals. We'll look at economic calendar and again, trying to make the plan for the week. Risk warning. You can find the full statement at avatrade.com. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media channels. You're more than welcome and should be encouraged to use our channels. You have Telegram, you have Twitter, or used to be Twitter, now it's X. And as I always say, my favorite YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of information, tutorials, educational material. You have webinars, so if you ever missed the webinar, don't stress. You can find the recording at our channel on YouTube. Some of you might be watching this on YouTube, which is great. Please don't forget to subscribe, to click likes if you like it, to share with others if you think it could be beneficial. And please write your comments, feedback. It's very, very important to me. Thank you. And let's move on. Few things, as you know, I like to take some screenshots with some articles. This is an interesting article you can find at marketwatch.com. And we are starting the earnings season, which is finished the second quarter. So we're starting towards the end of the week. On Friday, the big banks are reporting. That includes JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. The mood is overall positive. The analysts are expecting good earnings season, and it says right here, stock market's upcoming earnings season may delay overdue pullback for S&P's 500. Okay, now we just had the NFPs on Friday. The numbers came a little bit higher than expected, but then it was a correction from Bureau of Labor Statistics. They actually lowered the jobs numbers for April and May, and overall, if we put it together, the average payroll came to 177,000 for the past 3 months. And the analysts say that it's the slowest job growth since January 2021. So market reacted in a positive way. And the reason I'm showing you this screen here, as you could see here, this is September 18th upcoming meeting. Before that, of course, we have the July meeting. Here we go. The numbers were about 46% starting. This is the June, about 46%, and then before the announcement, the number was about 57% on the June 28th, right here. And currently, the numbers are increased since the NFP numbers, and unemployment ticked up a little bit. I think it's 4.1%. So it looks like the probability of the Fed's cutting the rate September is growing. It's currently around 72% as we speak. So the market took it positive. Of course, we'll take a look what happened in a moment. Now, 10-year yields fell in the past few days. We are currently at 4.27. And as you know, sometimes I bring these numbers when you see the yields on the 10-year bonds are falling. that would push the dollar lower and gold higher normally. And also it's positive for the equity market. So when we take a look at it, logically we should be seeing, based on this picture on the yields, should be seeing market going up, which is the equity market, dollar going down, and gold going higher. We'll take a look when we get to the charts. Okay, economic calendar. A few words about what it is. This is public information. You can know about it ahead of time. You can find it on our web trader or the app. You can also use any other sources. They'll come with the same details. Here, what I do, I take out only high impact events. You can browse through it, you can filter, you can choose other things that are relevant to your trading. And as I always say, it's important to know ahead of time that certain things are happening. Whether you use it or not, that's already secondary. But any trader that is actively trading doesn't want to be caught with the announcements and the spikes in the market without knowing what's going on. So Sunday, which is today, we have elections in France continuing. Then Tuesday, we have testimony of Powell, the chair of the Feds. He's testifying, I think, in front of Congress. Every time he speaks, market is moving and reacting to it. Wednesday, we have CPI numbers from China, interest rate decision from New Zealand with the monetary policy statement. Thursday, important day for the Fed watch, the numbers that they're really watching closely. We have CPI numbers. Before that, we have CPI from Germany, but this is the key number for the week, I would say. The CPI numbers from US on Thursday. Definitely important numbers, and definitely market is reacting to it. And Friday, we have retail sales from Germany, PPI numbers, which are also important from US, and Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index from US. Again, these are just the high impact events. There's much more. Please take a look, mark what's important to you, filter, and so on. Okay. Let's move to the trading terminal. So we'll start with indices. I'll take a look what happened last week, see the potential for the upcoming week. So this is China. As you could see, a Chinese index is having a hard time moving higher. We are sitting and confirming the supports at the current levels around 11,800 right here. Take a look. We had a lot of actions here. We started to move up when the government starting to inject funds into the economy. We had a nice run that started mid-April, and then we're back sliding lower and retesting the same level. The question is, what's next? It looks like we're holding it, so there's the possibility of us turning around and moving higher. And the opposite scenario, if we finally have a closing below that 11,830 and start building new resistance, there's possibility of sliding lower. As you know, with the US market running, making all-time highs, the Chinese market is not really reacting positively to it. Now, another Asian market is doing the opposite. Japanese market is very strong. A lot of it to do with the weak yen. The yen has been at the historical weak. I think we are lower than 1986 levels on the yen, which is a separate story. We'll get there when we get to Forex. So as you could see here, we just had 2 days in a row closing above the previous resistance here that we established on March 21st. Let's see if it holds. If we start building nice support here, that opens a possibility of continuation. And if we dive below that 40,900 again, we might go into correction. So we'll continue watching that. Now, US markets, as we said, which made all-time highs on S&Ps and NASDAQ. Let's start from the weakest one. Dow Jones didn't really move high here. We try, as you could see, there are a lot of attempts with the spikes but we're having this strong resistance around 39,800, and so far we haven't been able to break through it. So now what we try to do, we try to connect maybe these tops here. So give us an ability to watch when we get to the trend line at some point, we might try to break through it. So anyway, Dow Jones is weaker than others. As you could see here, it's pretty much closing at the same level for the whole week, at least the last 4 days, as you could see here. And the last 3 days are almost flat, and Friday is totally flat. The open 39,649, the close, wow, 7 points difference between opening and closing on Dow. So you could see it really, it looks like the sellers are not really letting it go. So here are the winners. Nasdaq is continuing higher. The stocks moved higher. Microsoft, Apple, and others, they either made the new highs or challenging. The stock that was leading the Nasdaq, on the other hand, Nvidia, is showing some signs of weakness. We'll show it when we get to the stock. So Nasdaq is strong, all-time highs. There's no resistance, so we're in uncharted territory. We can continue high here, especially with some positive and exciting mood of analysts for the upcoming earnings season. S&Ps, same story. We're breaking the highs. Let's see if we manage to continue or we retrace. It's going to be interesting week to watch. Germany, we had a nice move towards the end of the week. We had a nice attempt, but we came right back. And it looks like this previous resistance is holding the high of 18,670 around that level. Okay. So you know what? We're going to mark it 670. And let's see what happens this upcoming week. So clearly, that previous resistance hold. We had a nice attempt here with the spike. We went above the previous spike here, but the closing, it's important, and we did close below. Friends, a lot of issues there, politically, economically. As you could see, we had the recent sell-off. We came to confirm support, and the last 2 days we tried to break out to the upside, and it looks like we are holding this level around 7,700. Let's see what happens here the upcoming week. UK as well, with the elections and other issues. Friday was a sell-off here. We closed below the 50-day moving average. So far, we are kind of holding this trend line here, approximate trend line. We couldn't break above. So unlike the US making new highs, the UK index is really showing some weakness. So far, we've been making lower highs, but the base is holding so far. So this initial move down on May 30th, that low is holding. As you could see, we had few attempts with the spikes, but we didn't manage to close below. So it is kind of a strong support that's holding at approximately 8,150. Let's see what this brand new week brings to us. Okay, so that's as far as the indices. Again, US Nasdaq and S&Ps had all-time highs. Dow is behind, and German and UK indices are weaker, and China is weak. Japan is strong. Let's move to the individual equities, to the stocks, and we start with Nvidia actually. As you could see here, after making this nice move to the upside, we are struggling a little bit over here. So what we can do, the high of Thursday, right? Okay, so Thursday high was 128.58. Let's set it up. $128.58. So the Thursday high stands as an immediate resistance. We did try on Friday. We went a little bit higher than that, but then we closed in red when the Nasdaq and the S&Ps make all-time highs. So it's a really bearish sign here. Some analysts are very cautious about NVIDIA. As we know, NVIDIA for the whole year made tremendous move to the upside. From the beginning of the year, here we go. We were at 48. That's adjusted to, of course, to the split that we recently had. But take a look. The adjusted price around $48 went all the way to 140. So it looks like things are cooling for NVIDIA a little bit. And let's see, again, like I said, Thursday's high, which wasn't broken on Friday, still remains as immediate resistance. And the support we have sell-off here in June. We had the low of 118.02. So we are about $10 channel actually, 118, 128. Now, the other big players did great. As I mentioned, Apple, all-time highs. And with Apple, there are interesting developments, a few things why Apple is up. We have production of the new processor A18, which will be or should be used in the new upcoming iPhone 16, that is, and I think they should come out somewhere in September. Also, they're working on the second generation of Vision Pro headset, which apparently is supposed to be change of design and different pricing. So those are the two reasons, or two of the other reasons that Apple is doing great. As you could see here, we're also at the all-time highs, and it is a strong move to the upside. So that's on Apple. Microsoft as well, it's just running high here. Google, the same thing. So all the major stocks are really moving high here. Amazon also, after this past week, we did break to the all-time highs. Tesla doing great. So you would say amazing move to the upside, but funny enough, we just turned positive on the year. If you take a look at the chart here on January 2nd, the high was 251.03. We did close on Friday 251.62. So in a funny, sarcastic way, we are up 60 cents on the year officially. Again, we were as low as 138 right here back in April. So since April, it's a very nice come up. And after a huge accumulation here that we'll discuss a few times, the move is up. Of course, the main reason for it is better than expected numbers in the delivery of the vehicles. And also, last week I read a little bit about the batteries, the battery storage, or the electricity storage business is doing well as well. So Tesla, great comeback, but we are flat on the year, funny enough. Okay, so that's on Tesla. Netflix is doing great. We are slowly approaching the all-time highs as well. Let's see if we manage to do that. We're at the high of around 700. That was back in November of 2021. And then we had a strong dip to the downside. Okay, so that's Netflix. Now, oil stocks, there's a big issue with this new hurricane that's approaching, or it is already in the Gulf of Mexico, and that creates a threat to the oil industry that's located there. And the big companies are pulling out and evacuated their personnel. And among those companies is Shell, Chevron, and ExxonMobil. So if you see ExxonMobil here, It's been moving lower here. Then Wednesday, Thursday move up, and Friday again in red. And Chevron overall is showing weakness here. So let's see how that development with the big storm is happening and what's happening here. So that's on the oil stocks. Now, big week for the banks. We did sell off on most of the banks on Friday. And when I was doing the market review for my team, and I realized this Thursday redness in all the banks, and I said that the following day we could see a sell-off because on Thursday was a strong move to the upside in stocks, and banks didn't go to. So I mentioned to my team, I said this is the sign that the following day we might see the sell-off, and that's exactly what happened here. J.P. Morgan sold, Goldman Sachs as well, Citi, Bank of America. Most of the banks sold on Friday when the market, or especially Nasdaq and S&Ps, made all-time high. So as I mentioned to you, this week on Friday we have earnings season opening, and we have major banks, J.P. Morgan, Citi, and Wells Fargo are starting the earning reports. So definitely we'll be watching what's happening in those stocks. Okay, let's move to commodities. And as I mentioned to you with the 10-year yields picture, as the yields went down, it could help the markets, which it did, and potentially would help gold as well. And let's take a look what happened in gold. It has to show us some strength, and I think it did. Here we go. Where are you hiding? Here we go. Nice move to gold. So on Wednesday, we did finally break through this stagnation here around 2,333. We tried. Finally, we did break it on Wednesday with a strong move. Thursday was a little bit of taking a break. We did close a little bit lower than the open, and then Friday, the move happened to the upside. Of course, what triggered it mostly is the NFP numbers that came right here, 12:30 GMT. And that's what I mentioned by knowing ahead of time that certain things are happening in economic calendar. Take a look at this spike, down and then up. Just want to show you the 5-minute chart. This is 5-minute chart. Take a look. The moment the announcement came, there was a spike down, up, and then we slowly start moving higher. So gold is showing strength, which actually closed higher than this previous large candle of June 7th, where the high was 2387.68. We closed almost $4 higher, 4 points higher, and there's an opening for continuation possible in gold. But that's gold. Copper did great as well, continuation to the upside. It's neglecting the weakness of China, and we came to this point, which is important. We did try to break out. This is the top of this candle of June 7 as well. The high is 468. We did close a little bit lower. So as of now, that resistance stands. We had it here. We repeated here with a few attempts so far. It's holding here. So let's see if we retrace to the downside or if we manage to break through the upside through this level at 468. So that's copper. Palladium been doing very, very nice since we broke above 950, our key level again that we discussed many times. And now, similar to copper, we're facing resistance here at 1044, which was the level here on May 20th. So far, that's the resistance. We are above all the three simple moving averages, 50, 100, and 200. That's palladium. Natural gas, been selling lately, and we came right to 200 moving average here. Okay, so if we draw the horizontal line here and look left, we are really at the serious levels here. That's what the support back in January. Then we, of course, went much, much lower. We came back and started establishing support around this level on May 13th, and we are back to that level again, which gives us an idea of possible support here, as 200 is a major level here. And in the previous occasions when we get to that level, we actually moved higher. So let's take a look. And of course, we could see the opposite effect. We could just break through that level and start building new resistance and continue lower. But as of now, this move was really extended move. We came all the way from 295 to 231. So there's a possibility of some support starting to develop here. We'll be watching that. Cocoa still in play, still a lot of actions. If you remember, we mentioned last week at the webinar that we might see the support around the 7,000 again, and that's what happened here with this spike that hit the low of 69.64, and then we bounced, currently closing at around 7,800. So support is still holding. Some might think or find this as a head and shoulder, the right shoulder being built before move lower. Of course, it's really subjective. We can think and imagine anything. As of now, the 7,000 support is holding. We are between the 100 and 200 moving average. Let's see how this week plays for cocoa. Sugar had a nice move, and then we had the sell-off on Friday. Let's see if we continue lower, we might look for support. And as of now, the high of Wednesday, 2076, it's our immediate resistance. Let's see how we play the upcoming week. So we're between 1960 and 2076. That's on sugar. Oil, as we said, that hurricane actually did play a role in this move to the upside, but Friday we actually sold after being exhausted trying to move above the 84. We did have a few spikes before 84, above 84. We actually didn't manage to close even once. Take a look here. We went as high as 84.36 here, and then Friday went as high as 84.51, but we failed to close above. Actually, the sell-off came towards the end of the day. So that's looks like weakness. So even that fear of the issues with that storm in the Gulf of Mexico cannot manage to push the oil higher. And also another reason, this ongoing negotiation between Israel and Hamas, and it looks like the new demands, and there's some hopes of the deal being done. Maybe that's also causing a little bit of calmness in the oil price. I guess we'll find out more in the upcoming week. So that's oil. Again, 84, that psychological level, it's not broken so far. Okay, let's move to Forex. As we said, again, back to 10-year yields, we should see a pressure to the downside of dollar, and that's exactly what happened. We did trade above 105.50, our level that was established a while ago, and then pretty much the whole week we were selling here. And we did close around 104.52, a strong sell-off. And as you could see here, on Friday, the volume was up. And of course, you can dedicate it to the NFP numbers, right? That's exactly where the whole thing started with the NFPs. So dollar's lower. Another weak currency is Canadian dollar. Even with the weakness of a dollar, US dollar is still stronger on Friday than Canadian dollar. So if you take Canadian dollar against all the currencies, they've been super, super weak, even against yen. Take a look at this move. So if you if you try to analyze the currencies, so we have the weakness in US dollar, of course, more weakness in Canadian dollar, and euro and pound are being strong. I think pound is the strongest now, maybe to do with the elections as well. Take a look. If you remember, we were between 126 and 128 for quite a while. And take a look at this week. We just went straight from 126 to above 128, closing at 128.14. And if you take a look at the weekly chart, we are trying, take a look at 1 week, we actually recovered the previous 4 weeks of the sell-off in the pound. Super strong move. Let's see if it's sustainable. We might see continuation on this upcoming week. Of course, there's more data, including CPI, PPI, and other things that might affect that pair as well. Also, euro. Euro's been breaking through this 108 that we couldn't do for a while as well. And we closed at 108.36. And for a while, we haven't been in the territory where we're above 200 moving average. We just did that. So let's see if this build-up happens here, and we might see continuation to the higher levels from here. Now, as I said, Canadian dollar has been weak across the board, and yen is trying. We just made a high here on CHF JPY. Australian flat day on Friday on yen after the spike lower. As I said, Canadian sold against the yen. I think is the only one. Let's see, US dollar as well, of course. So euro sold against yen as well. Pound went higher, but on the pound, interestingly enough, we are holding this previous high. And even with the strength of the pound, it's important to realize this relative strength. Okay, so the pound was high here, 206.15. Let's mark that actually. 206.15. Okay, and Friday, the pound was super strong, but it didn't get stronger against the yen. We managed to spike above that previous high here to 206.15, but we didn't close above. So it could be, of course, it could be our wishful thinking as well. But if you observe the major currencies against the yen, it looks like yen is trying hard to regain some strength. Let's see if we hear anything new this upcoming week. Again, Canadian dollars is the weakest, US dollars weak, pound and euro are strong, and yen is remaining weak, but it's really trying to prevent that continuation in getting weaker here. So let's see if this upcoming week brings us any news or any developments as far as maybe some actions of Bank of Japan, maybe some other reasons for the yen to turn around. As of now, it is still weak. And again, going back to Nikkei, it really adds value to Nikkei by being weak. Okay, so that's it with the Forex. So let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. It's been in a roller coaster, been selling the whole week pretty much. You remember this trend line that we draw, which broke through this trend line at the beginning of the week. And then we continue here on the 5th, which was Friday, but a huge sell-off went as low as, let's see, 53,500, and then we bounced. And then Saturday we had the green day. They will give away almost 40% of that Saturday's gains. We are below the 200 moving average, of course, the others as well. And so far, this low of May 1st, which was at 56,478, it actually remains in play because we didn't close. So the spikes, even though they're way below, but we didn't have the closure below this level. So still gives hopes to the bulls in Bitcoin for continuation to the upside. And of course, if this week we dive again and close below, that puts a little bit of a threat of continuation of a sell-off. That's it pretty much. Okay, so again, just to summarize, and before summarizing, please do not forget about the social media, subscribe, like, share, and so on. So put it all together for this week, or the end of last week was strong due to the favorable numbers in NFPs and unemployment, and the probability of the Feds cutting the rates September grew. So we're above 70% probability now. We have earnings season kicking in this week with the banks on Friday. We have CPI, PPI numbers, and the Powell speech in front of the Congress. So we have some triggers this upcoming week as well. The Nasdaq and S&Ps are at the all-time highs. The major stocks at the all-time highs, besides NVIDIA, that's showing a little bit of signs of weakness. I want to wish everyone a great weekend, whatever's left. Get some energy, get some power, get some excitement for the upcoming week. Watch your risks, prepare yourself, trade smart. Have a wonderful and successful week. We should be back next Sunday. All the best.